John Lennon imagined a world where everyone lived in peace, a world with no religion. But imagine this instead. A world where all religions put aside their differences and rejoice in their similarities. A world where Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Baha'is, Sikhs, and Hindus pray together. Remarkably, that's just what happened in Eugene, Oregon.
A terrible, terrible tragedy has befallen all those who believe in democracy.
We looked out at it, all of a sudden, boom.
Following 9/11, the president called for a day of prayer on September 14th. Dan Bryant, the minister for Eugene's First Christian Church, helped organize the service.
We received a call the morning of the service from someone in the Sikh community asking if they could be in the service, and I mistook the question and thought they were asking if they could participate in the program, and I very politely said, well, the program's pretty full, and they said, no, we're not asking if we can be on the program. We just want to know if it's okay if we attend. And it was a surprising question because, of course, everyone was welcome. This was something for the whole community.
From this small beginning came a bold idea to hold interfaith gatherings. Suri Kar Khalsa Harris had in fact some years earlier received a divine vision about interfaith gatherings, and after the successful service on September 14, she was committed to see that vision through.
One of the Sikh ministers knew of this organization, TRIM, Two Rivers Interfaith Ministries, and suggested that someone attend the next meeting. So we brought up this request and suggestion that we, as a community, come together in an interfaith service.
A TRIM board member, Vita Ellens, took on the difficult challenge of organizing the first interfaith services.
I suggested that maybe I could coordinate this whole program at the very beginning and invite certain people from different faith traditions to help me to do this. And I said, let's come together and let's brainstorm. It takes only like one person who would connect with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people and invite them all together and then create something. It was simple as that.
They decided to start holding Interfaith Prayer Service on the 11th of every month, and Dan Bryant offered to host the gatherings in his church.
Now, Reverend Dan Bryant said, well, we'll see if it'll work for 3 months. And then 6 months, he goes, well, we'll give it another 3 months. After a year, he just threw up his hands and says, oh, well.
7 years later, it's still going. And every month, people from all faith traditions come together to pray and learn from one another.
It sort of increases my own faith, because there's all these different ways that people relate to God, and we can get together. Because most of the time, people take their differences and they sort of put them in front of each other. So regardless if it's religion or it's sports or it's relationships or countries, so this is one way that we kind of get past the differences.
I really enjoyed today, and I would like to come and share, because we get to do like different kind of religious prayers, and I really love it, and I would like to come and again.
Well, I have been coming since the beginning, and I feel that there are such deep, pure intentions. Each presenter is so sincere. And whether or not I fully understand what they're offering, it doesn't matter, because I just embrace the spirit.
For me, coming here is a place where I get centered and I get energized, and I just sometimes when I'm up here presenting and I look at people, when you see the Sikh and Muslim and Hindu and Jewish, and it's just heartwarming. You feel that you wish the whole world could be that way.
But opening up a service to so many different faiths and traditions raised organizational questions. Who should present, and for how long?
We have a written guideline that we give to presenters from the Interfaith Prayer Service Board. So it does outline how many minutes each presenter gets, that we do not proselytize. In fact, we actually ask people not to introduce themselves. We strive to have this hour be completely prayer, that people's thought can be uplifted to the divine and stay there for an hour.
The goal is always to bring people together, give them a venue where they can actually watch one another in practice of their faith. The portion of the devotions are very limited, so that gives enough time for each person to present something from their faith, and at the same time for others to sit back and actually observe and recognize that we have a lot more in common, and other people's faith is just as important as one's own, and to not to dwell so much on the differences rather than appreciate the things that we have in common.
To be open to the ways in which other cultures and people experience God and pray to God in their life. And then to ask, okay, in my own tradition, how can I connect to that? Or how is it different? How is it alike? How does it affect my own prayer practices? And I think we all have something to learn from each other, and so this is a place where we get to experience that.
The world has shrunk, we're getting smaller. We need to be able to, as a humanity, share. We need to work cooperatively. That means coming together, that means uniting, that means sharing of ourselves and what we have with each other in a way that provides dignity for all.
The power of what is being done here is incredible, and it's a great witness to the world of what is possible when people share together. So I think there's a very real sense in which we are demonstrating world peace. So my hope then, I suppose, would be that this story gets told.
I see it as a movement, and I see it as a cause that uniting people of so many different faiths together to appreciate the diversity, to appreciate the differences of theology, but also to see the universal truth that underlies all the religions.
I know Mother Teresa was asked one time, how do you become a saint? And she said, be the most that you can be. And that's exactly right, being the most that you can be. Well, this is another way for me personally to be the most that I can be, to serve God by serving humanity.
John Lennon imagined a world living in peace. What's happened in Eugene, Oregon with the Interfaith Prayer Service proves that people of different faiths can indeed come together in peace and love.